Oh, thank you, Dress Hound. You're the first one. I hope I said your name. Dress Hound Lynch. It's hard to read. But hello, friend. It is me. It is I. Welcome in, guys. Tap that screen. How about with the live goal? We're gonna get started. We're a little early, Ari. I feel that too, Ari. We had to send a little something out to Tim Curry. Rest in peace, Tim Curry. Everyone except for the right one, Ari. Nolan, this is Time Warp from Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know, Linka, I didn't really actually hear all of it. I just popped in to offer a little bit of legal, you know, stuff, and then made my way out. So yeah, there you go. Tim Curry, man, hell yeah, there he is. Yeah, Henri, yeah, I'm with you. I was like, who's saying that Ari has big opinions about? Oh, it's Ari. It's Ari. Never mind. We could take in an old Steve Reeves movie. I'm glad we caught you at home. Can we use your phone? We're both in a bit of a hurry. We'll just say where we are, go back to the car. We don't want to be any worry. How about that? I uh I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this movie. I learned a lot. This was a formative movie for me. Guys, can we clear out that live goal and get those taps rolling and everything like that? And if you are a Trump supporter, I invite you guys to hop up in the box, or you can call in on the phone line. Yes, we are a little bit early. A little bit early. So, yeah. The phone line is open and it is working. It is running. So, mm, with say it. Say it.
Patient, patient.
See, I know who's actually seen it in person. There you go. So, but not. By the way, that was Erika suggested that we play some Rocky Horror music in honor of Tim Curry. I said that is an excellent idea. Let us do that. So good, good suggestion.
Yeah, it's either that or bits of the crappy Robin Hood movie he was in the 90s.
Uh, yeah. She originally suggested, she's like, well, we have to play some Dolly. I was like, well, I played Dolly earlier in the week, friend. And like, so kind of like, she's like, oh, okay, well, then Tim Curry. Um,
This week is one of those weeks where there's an embarrassment of riches in terms of people who've passed away who you can play. Like, when was that year? Was it the year before? Was it 2018 or 2019 when just like a shit ton of people died within about a month? Like David Bowie, and maybe it was just here, but they were within that month, 2 month period that David Bowie died, a whole ton of 2016. Jeez, I feel
it
because
was it. I was gonna say it
Alan
must have been
Rickman,
2016 because that's when Bowie died.
yeah, I think Alan Rickman died in that period of time as well. And then a great British comedian called Victoria Wood died in that short period of time. Didn't Prince? Did Prince? No.
Yeah, Prince. It was around that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, 2016. Yep, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Apparently George Michael as well.
Yeah. Alan Rickman. Um, that's one of my all-time favorite Family Guy bits. Um, was the Alan Rickman voicemail. That was great. That was like early Family Guy. They were really on fire with some of that stuff. I know Dolphin Peter Cullen passed away too this week. A lot of people don't know who Peter Cullen was, but the late great Peter Cullen, original voice of Optimus Prime.
I
Absolute.
thought you were talking about someone from the Twilight Saga. Um, but they wouldn't pass away because they're vampires.
Or werewolves.
Well, the Cullens aren't werewolves, they're vampires.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
okay.
Matt has not seen Twilight, apparently.
Sorry. No. I was just saying that don't werewolves also live forever? No?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
me and the only thing I know about werewolves is silver bullets.
Yeah.
That's the entirety of my werewolf
Yeah.
knowledge.
So full moon. Full moon.
Oh yeah, full
Full moon,
moon,
silver bullet. Yeah. And then
bitten by a
yeah.
werewolf.
Yeah.
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 I Whereas, obviously vampires, I have an encyclopedic knowledge.
I mean, I most of the knowledge I have is from American Werewolf in London. So, which is
I've been to London several times, have yet to meet an American werewolf.
um but you have seen the movie though, right?
I don't think I have actually.
Really?
I'm not a
Yeah.
big one for kind of horror, fantasy horror kind of thing. Although I do like I love a zombie apocalypse.
Fair. Fair. I mean, every once in a while I can go. I don't like horror movies either, but I do have to say that so American Werewolf in London is uh John Landis. John Landis directed. It's yeah, Secret Scroll. It's kind of like it's like comedy horror, like dark horror comedy. Like it's not just straight up horror. Also, the special effects for like the transformation bit was like really exceptionally good for the time, using conventional effects and stuff. Really cool. So
Um, have you seen? Is it Evil Dead 2? I think it's the Evil Dead 2.
I saw the first one. I'm not a huge. I don't
Okay.
know. People might not like me for that, but I'm
Oh,
not a huge
sorry, Buzz.
Evil Dead
The,
fan. So.
the only reason I mention it is I have a friend called Rob, um, who at the Edinburgh Fringe about 10 years ago did a show called The Elvis Dead, where he played scenes from the Evil Dead 2 in the background, but sang Elvis Presley songs that were adapted to suit the what was going on in the movie. And he actually got sued by the family that owned the rights to the Evil Dead.
Stop it! What?
Yeah. And in the end, he worked out kind of a rights deal with them because he got nominated for Best Newcomer at the Edinburgh Festival for for this show. And then people from around the world were asking him to come and perform it, and he was like, "I can't. They won't
Can't
let me."
legally not allowed.
Yeah.
Um, Dolphin. I mean, like the original. It's fine. It's just not like my thing. I don't like hate it. It's just not my thing. That's all, friend. So for people who like it, don't it's totally all good. It's just not. Yeah. Um, Real quick, while we were hanging out, while we were sitting here, guys, Trump supporters, call in or request on up. Erica and I would like to have a conversation with you on this delightful Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. So, yeah,
or morning.
or morning, I guess, or
Yeah.
maybe it's
If
Saturday for you. I don't know. That's
if
also
you're if
possible.
you're anywhere if you're in the United States and you're anywhere other than the East Coast, it's still morning.
Yeah, but that's not real time. That's just pretend time. Um,
No, you're right. I'm in the only real time zone. You're correct.
um, so, yeah, if you guys are, it's a joke, guys. It's a joke. It's all we're all. It's a joke. It's all good. I know. Unfollow. I'm canceled. Call out live in an hour. Um. So,
Not another. My calendar is filled with Matt call out lives right now.
I know, right? We got too many. I know. Exactly. Septic Salad says bad taste in movies, bad taste in politics. Yeah, of course, bud. That's exactly it. Because I definitely have bad taste in politics. That's it. Says everyone else here. Mm.
I want to know what movies did we say we liked that you think was bad taste? I never mentioned a movie that I liked at any point.
I know, right? It's kind of crazy. We are also on a little bit early for Friday. We usually around 1, but came on a little bit. We're on a little bit early today. It's lots of fun. So we got that. Um, so one thing I saw Tommy at too young of an age. Yeah, Tommy could funk you up. The movie version. That shit. That'll fuck you up, no doubt. So movie he doesn't like was mentioned in genre of movies she doesn't like. LOL. Okay. Crazy that people aren't allowed to have like mild opinions about different things. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Cool story, bro. You must be fun at parties.
Real fun.
Oh boy. Chris, you could request on up and we could talk about it if you'd like.
I'd love that. What movies do you like? Well, I'm not super keen on this kind of movie. Well, you're just wrong. You're just
You're
wrong.
just wrong. Terrible. You're the worst. Mm. I know my opinions are absolutely the worst. It's like I want Americans to have health care and clean water and access to food, and it's awful, and I don't want them to be shot by their government, and I don't want racism in our government, and I want equal representation for all people. I have the worst fucking takes, I'll tell you. It's
You're
really
just you're
problematic.
you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
like I loved that when Mike Johnson was reading off all the things and
yeah.
all the things about the DSA, and it was just like, oh, and
Yeah.
which one of those is supposed to be bad?
Yeah, we want all those. Septic Salad says nice slogans. See, those aren't slogans. You don't understand what a slogan is. Those are just beliefs that I hold. Those aren't slogans. I understand that you don't know what the word slogan means, but that's okay. Um,
Wouldn't a slogan be something like "Make America Great Again" or
exactly.
"Build the Wall" or "Lock
Lock her
her
up.
up"?
Oh yeah, you beat me to it.
Yeah,
Or let's go, Brandon.
yeah.
Yeah. See, those would be slogans. Those are because slogan would be like a political catchphrase. See, that's a catchphrase. Saying, "Hey, I think that all Americans should have access to health care," is a belief, not a slogan. But it's okay. Septic Salad is not the sharpest tool in the shed, so we'll forgive him for not being smart enough to understand the difference between a slogan and a belief.
I have to say though, the septic salad name, considering what's been going on with lettuce for the last little while, is on the fucking nose, you
I'll
know?
tell you, yeah, really nailed it. If you're a Trump supporter and you believe in lettuce that contributes to bathroom visits, I mean, being a Trump supporter there, I mean, man, that really works very well. Good for you, actually. Honestly, there you go.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think they've been called that for a little while, so maybe they can tell what's going to happen in the future because it's gone from somebody on TikTok called septic salad to actual septic salad.
mhm.
It's wild.
Yeah. Hope and change. That would also be that's a slogan. Very good. Yeah. See, now you guys get it. Those are all slogans. Very good. So now we've figured out the difference between slogans and actual, just simple beliefs. So there you go. Good job, guys.
Thank
Proud.
you all for coming to our TED Talk on what is and is not a slogan.
All right, that's cute. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. Oh, oh, shit! Hot shot says 2 weeks to change the curve. You mean the thing that Donald Trump was saying? Sure. That would have required all of the states to do the exact same thing. There should have been a federal mandate, and there wasn't.
I feel like being called shit hot shot has too many hots in it.
Yeah, it's not a great username.
It's not
Also,
great. It's not a great slogan.
yeah. Also, but I gave you a little freedom of speech time out there in the chat. If you'd like to have a conversation, you're welcome to. But seems like you just want to jaw in the chat. It'll be a little keyboard warrior. So, you know, feel free to come on up and have a conversation like a big kid if you'd like. Hmm. We got somebody else who wants to. Jason, hello. Are you a Trump supporter? Jason, hello. Well, I think that might have been a mistake.
I just had a look at Jason's profile. I don't think Jason is a Trump supporter.
Uh,
Looked altogether far too reasonable.
Goddamn reasonable people.
I know.
Mm,
Imagine wanting the best for everyone. That's fucking wild, Matt. How
I know.
dare you?
I'm crazy. Um, you know. I'll tell you who would never request up and talk to us though.
Um, Go ahead.
Oh, that David guy, the Democrats for Trump. He's too much of a scared little coward to ever actually have a conversation with either of us because we would dog walk him.
Oh, we are. Well, I have before.
He's never requested up to talk to me except for the day that Charlie Kirk died, where he requested up and he just started screaming his head off like a fucking maniac and then dropped. So yeah, it's funny. It's a funny clip, but yeah, he's way too scared to actually have a conversation.
Doesn't surprise. Where's my? I have a Democrats for Trump hat around here somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw it the other day.
Anyways, once again, guys, if you are a Trump supporter, hop in the box. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a chat.
The thing you just, yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, yeah. Yes, septic salad. Come talk to us. Show us how superior your opinions are.
Doubtful. All right, guys. Well, we've got about 300 people over here on the Tiki Talks as we get rolling here. We've got some more over on the tube. Like I said, we are early for our usual show today, but we're here. So appreciate you guys coming to hang out. And so, yeah. Um, this is not a Lindsay Clancy live dub. Sorry to
No,
break it to you. Yeah. So we're that's not what this is. So, anyways,
yeah, yeah. Um, I've there. We could, if we're. Oh, apparently somebody requests Sebastian
uh,
Pocognoli.
Sebastian, hello. Are you a Trump supporter?
For my friend in the wonderful city of Boston, I'm not, but I could argue that he is destroying America and Western hegemony, and that would be a good thing for the rest of the world.
I really don't have time for accelerationists.
And you know what? I totally get that. It is a stupid argument, but for the sake of it, he's breaking it down. He's reroading all trust in America. I think a lot of countries are seeing that every 4 years there's going to be a major policy shift, and countries aren't going to want to do business with us because it's all so uncertain.
Uh huh. Yeah.
I
I,
just quickly, Sebastian. This is just, you could argue that it's not your opinion, right? Like
Correct.
you don't think, right? Okay. We're not debating for the sake of debate. Like, that's not the purpose of this.
Fair enough. I'll drop down.
all right, Sebastian. I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Well, at, at least you know you know that's not actually his personally held belief. That's good. Nabil, septic salad talks on plenty of panels and actually has come up here, I believe, at least once before. So it's not that he does. He just wants to be a keyboard warrior. That's all. So yeah, that's why he gets ragged on for just trolling in the comments. So yeah, that's all. This is an FYI.
Anything in the news today, Matthew?
Yeah, a couple of things. Um, we'll probably hit that video. I want to wait a little bit to hit that just in case it. I don't want to get any sort of
Yeah, I
flag
get
that
you. I
but
got you.
I do want to. That's such a great video though, man. Um, so let's see here. By the way, shocker. The Fed is trying to get people calm down about inflation, and I'll tell you what they're not going to be doing. I'll tell you what they're not going to be doing is they're not going to be dropping interest rates. They are not going to be dropping interest rates. And when asked if they were going to raise interest rates, Kevin Warsh declined to comment. So I don't think that Donald Trump is going to be happy now with Kevin Warsh, his literal fucking handpicked guy to get in there after he was so mad. So mad. So mad at everything that they were doing before. So mad. And now he's going to have the exact same fucking outcome. Yeah, I know, right? It wasn't Jerome Powell. Shocking.
Isn't this exactly like when he fired the person that was in charge of the jobs data? And
Yep.
then the next person that did the jobs data, they were even worse. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to get rid of you because the jobs data doesn't look good enough, and employ somebody else to do the jobs data because you surely were shit at your job. Next person
Exactly.
goes, no, they weren't. The jobs data is just crap.
Exactly. So like, Jerome Powell, also picked by Donald Trump, was doing exactly the right thing in terms of interest rates, and now you have Kevin Warsh, who's overseeing the Fed, doing exactly the right thing when it comes to interest rates. Like, fuck, come on, guys. Anyways, it's funny on a number of different
Just,
levels.
well, I hear Linda McMahon's put herself out of a job. Maybe she could, slide into that one.
Oh yeah, maybe that would be great. Um, maybe she did such an excellent job as Secretary of Education. So good job. We're so proud of you. Let's see here. Was the other thing I wanted to mention?
Did you did you hear about the flooding in
Nepal?
Tibet and Nepal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's terrible.
dreadful.
Absolutely terrible. I think there's almost like 2,000 people missing or dead. It's awful. It's awful. I feel terrible. Feel terrible for them. So, is this here? All right, pull this up for you guys. I know the videos are absolutely terrible. No doubt about that. Suplexer. Okay, guys.
I'd rather do a sleeper hold. That was always my favorite thing in wrestling when someone was doing a sleeper hold and then they'd do the arm drop thing 3 times and then the last time would be like Donald Trump after a pretend assassination attempt.
All right. I'm going to call here. Let's see what we got. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you a Trump supporter?
Hey, greetings from Fort Worth. My name is Scott. Yes.
Okay, Scott. You said you're from Fort Worth. You're in Texas. How old are you?
43.
Okay. Why do you?
I'm T-Bone. I'm T-Bone in the chat, just so everybody knows. I don't know if you're in the chat.
In the YouTube chat or the TikTok chat?
The YouTube. But
okay,
hey, I don't have long. I'm at lunch. I'm about to go in. I just want to. I'm curious. I'm Medicaid curious. The young lady from across the pond. I imagine y'all have the universal health care. If it would cause us to pay less monthly for health care and dental, vision, et cetera, I would be for that. How does that work over there? Would we be paying less out of our checks each month from the healthcare provided by our employer? Does that cover dental? Because dental, we pay a little bit, but still have to come out of pocket quite a bit. And I was just curious about that. I don't really have a debate or an argument.
Well, different countries that have universal healthcare, their healthcare works in different ways. So in England specifically, so this is just for England, okay? Our taxes pay for all of our medical care. So we don't have to pay for ambulances or hospital stays or doctor's visit. What am I echoing or?
Caller, I don't know, maybe if you've got your speaker up a little bit, we're getting a little bit of echo back.
Hang on.
It's okay.
I took it off.
That's okay, friend. No, it's all good. I think it might be a little bit better now. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. We appreciate you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Go ahead, ma'am.
It was putting me off because it was echoing. So we get all of that medical is paid for any prescription medication, and it doesn't matter how much the retail cost of the item is. We pay £10 for each prescription, or I can pay £120 for a whole year and get every prescription that I need for a year.
What about dental? What about dental work?
So, dental, you can get an NHS dentist, and it's basically subsidized. So if I was not working, I could get it for free, or if I'm elderly or pregnant or a child, I get it for free. But if I am working, I get it at a subsidized rate. So if I need a checkup and a filling, for example, that's going to cost me about £100. If I need more work than that, if I need a crown, that would cost me about £250.
Like
So I
a
don't know.
root canal. Like, because
Well, that
out of
would.
pocket, I'm paying like probably a few hundred for a root canal. But my dental insurance is only like 20, $30 a paycheck. That's my gripe is I would pay more money out of my check for better coverage that I don't have to come out of pocket like so much when I go to the dentist. That's my gripe.
Can I just throw something out at you real quick? Because asking Erika about how it works is actually really good. But if you're wondering about, like, for example, how we would pay for it, I can tell you that basically what's kind of been proposed here, like the Bernie Sanders Medicare for All, and a number of different institutes have done studies about like how we pay for it, like the Cato Institute or Pew Research, or a number of different people, even right leaning, like Cato Institute is libertarian, like right leaning. Basically, the consensus is probably that we'd end up probably as Americans, we would pay 4% ish more on our taxes every year. Like, so our taxes would go up 4%. But if our taxes went up 4%, we would no longer have to pay private health insurance. So whatever you're paying for private health insurance or contributing to with your employer for private health insurance, you would no longer have to do. So it's not like, oh, okay, well, now I have to pay 4% over and above everything I'm paying now. No. It's you pay 4%, give or take. Like, this is just an estimate, please understand. But you pay 4% more a year in taxes, and then you wouldn't be paying private health insurance. So if you make $100,000 a year, that's $4,000 a year that you're contributing in taxes to Medicare for All, right?
That's less than I pay now.
And exactly, that's less than I pay now. That's less than a lot of people pay now. And I'm saying that's if you pay $100,000 a year. That if you make $100,000 a year, excuse me. If it's less, then you would probably be less. Again, that's an estimate. Could be a little bit more. Could be a little bit less. There's a number of different ways that they've talked about how the system would be funded. But take that as kind of like a rough estimate in the system, in the way that we might pay for it. And then like Erika was saying, well, they just go. And then it's basically taken care of, and maybe they pay out of pocket for some certain prescriptions or some different things. But that's pretty much it, my friend.
It's a drop in the bucket. Hey, I'm going to cut you guys loose. Thank you. I appreciate you explaining it. My personal opinion, and I'm a right-leaning voter. I'm a Trump voter. But I think if we could sell this to the American people, like you're explaining, like, hey, you're going to pay less than you're paying now. That's the way we do it, because I think the main thing on a lot of our minds is the cost of gas, the cost of goods, services. It's the cost that we're having to pay is the most important thing for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of other important shit, but like for the regular, I'd say they're quote regular people, that if you put more money back in our pockets, that's how you'll get us on your side. You know what I'm saying? So that's I'm not opposed to it. So,
I just want to point out,
ma'am.
I did go and look up. So, a root canal would be in the same band as a filling. So a root canal at an NHS dentist would be £76, which is about $100.
Get the fuck out of here. I hate
That's
and by the way, you can get
it's going to be like 600 here.
Yeah, you get as many treatments as you need within that band. So if I need 3 fillings and a root canal, that's still costing me £76.
Listen,
for all of them.
This would be probably less for Americans because y'all's teeth are way more fucked up than ours. I'm just kidding. I'm going to cut you guys. I'm just joking.
Okay.
I know they're not. I was just taking a petty dig. I'm just messing.
Hey, Scott, listen,
yes,
I know you have to go, but for real, call back up sometime and have a longer conversation with us about some things, okay?
Yes, sir. Okay. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you all.
All right. Bye.
Fort Worth out.
I liked him until the teeth comment, but no.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, dentistry to actually, that you don't see it anywhere near as many people in the UK as I've seen when I've visited the States. People that don't have teeth, who have like tons of teeth missing. You don't really see that because if a somebody who is living in poverty needs that stuff, they get it from the NHS and they don't have to pay anything for it.
Exactly.
Because if you're on if you're on, some kind of government assistance, you don't pay for your dentistry at all.
I had I agree 100%. Nabil said we should bring Canadian healthcare and gun laws here and solve a lot of problems. You're probably right. But I had an employee of mine who came to work for me, and I offered healthcare, insurance paid. But then they were they were very happy and very thankful, as a lot of you guys would understand if you live here in the United States. And I'm very very happy to do it. And it was good that able to do it. But she explained to me that she was like, "Oh yeah, well, previously I would just go to Mexico." I was like, "Mexico?" She's like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that you can like get really good cheap dental work in Mexico?" I was like, "No, I didn't." And she then went on to explain to me the whole, yeah, Lake, and I didn't know that. So that was a thing. That I only learned about that a number of years ago. That's a thing that a number of people do. They go down there and they pay cash, and it is like out of pocket, and it's incredibly affordable. Yeah, RTP does it. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's a smart guy. So
So cosmetic dentistry isn't as big in the UK as it is in the US. So not as many kids have like braces on their teeth and that kind of stuff. So that's why there's this thing about British people having bad teeth. It's not that the hygiene or the health of their teeth is worse. It's that cosmetic dentistry is not as big a thing. But now people from here, you guys would know Turkey is a place for people to go to get hair transplants.
Yep.
Here it's much better known for cosmetic dentistry. So we call them turkey teeth. If you see someone with big, overly white teeth that look too big for their mouths, they are commonly known as turkey teeth.
See, if I heard someone say turkey teeth, man, I would think of something else. But then you're like, let's see here. I mean,
Yeah. Turkey's huge for cosmetic procedures all the way around, I think, plastic surgery, cosmetic dentistry, hair plugs, all of that kind of stuff is all very big in Turkey and very affordable. And you can, I mean, I'm not that I'm advocating for it. You're grown ups, you can do what you like. But Turkey is also a great place to take a vacation. They have some amazing coastline and amazing hotels. So you just book yourself 2 weeks and just,
go do the thing.
chill out, have your hair plugs or your teeth done or whatever.
Good here. Hi, thanks for calling the stream. Are you a Trump supporter?
Hello?
Hello, thanks for calling the stream. Are you a Trump supporter?
A former Trump supporter, yeah.
Okay, how old are you and what state are you in?
23, Florida.
Okay, I'm just going to put you on a brief hold. We'll be right back with you, okay?
Okay.
Hey, I just want to say thank you real quick to Jeffrey on the Blue app. He said, in the news, a grand jury found that the DeSantis administration misappropriated $10 million in taxpayer money to Hope, Florida. However, the court found that they can't hold anyone accountable because there isn't enough evidence to charge anyone. Who are the ones committing fraud? Damn, Jeffrey. It's almost like, oh, God fucking damn it. We're gonna pull up that story after this. Yes, that is wild stuff. All right. Thank you for holding caller. Appreciate it. So you said you're 23 in Florida. Is that correct?
That's right.
What's that?
That's right.
Okay. And you said you're no longer a Trump supporter. Is that right? Also.
Yeah. The reason I wanted to call in is I was just curious, why don't you support Trump?
Well, why? Before we get to that, why did you stop supporting Donald Trump? What was the thing that made you stop supporting him?
I was originally in support of the MAGA movement. I think that Western society needs a strong Christian leader, and I thought Trump would be that guy, but um, he kind of betrayed his promise to the MAGA base, and instead he sold out to, little tech and the Israel lobby and things like that. So I just think that he's turned into another corrupt politician.
He's turned into another corrupt politician, or he always was a corrupt politician and you just didn't see it?
Well, I do think that he tried in 2016, but I was impressed by the fact that he didn't take any lobbyist money.
Wait a second. I'm sorry. Hold on. Did you just say he didn't take any lobbyist money?
In 2016.
That's a lie. That's just straight up lie. He took so much lobbyist money and PAC money. It's insane. He took so much money. It's an
Who is
absolute.
his number one? Who is the top donor?
In 2016?
Yeah.
Oh, here.
I'll look it up. Give me a sec. Out of interest, who do you think paid for Trump's 2016 campaign?
Well, I know he financed a lot of it himself.
No,
and
he didn't. No, he didn't.
No.
Oh, yeah. I was almost 100% sure. I didn't want to say it without being 100% sure. Who were you saying that you were upset that he sold out to this time around?
Special interest groups like
And?
Little Tech,
And?
the Israel lobby.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sheldon Adelson was his number one donor in 2016.
Okay.
Who's
yeah,
Sheldon?
I guess I didn't see it then.
Yeah. And you know who Sheldon and Miriam Adelson are?
I do. He's buried in Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what I said was 100% correct. He's always been totally corrupt, and you just didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
See, that's why the rest of us were screaming about it for the last decade. Yeah.
By the way,
I totally understand, and I was definitely convinced by a lot of the anti-Muslim propaganda and things like that.
Initially, Donald Trump put in he took out personal loans to the tune of £66.1 million to fund his campaign in 2016, but then forgave those loans and replaced those loans with investors' money. So he didn't really spend any of his own money on his 2016 campaign.
That's fair. And, my interpretation of the situation, which, obviously I'm incorrect in, was that, he kind of created his own lobbyists by bringing in a lot of family members and things like that to help run his administration.
What's a lobbyist?
Lobbyist is someone who tries to guide policy or persuade people in power for their political goals, whatever that may be.
Well, not quite. A lobbyist is somebody from a specific political interest group who gets paid to lobby. It's a verb, and lobbying is trying to convince politicians to do things that are in line with what you want for your specific goals. So lobbyists are employed by companies, by interest groups, by NGOs, by all of these types of groups, even by countries, and their goal is to persuade politicians to side with them on particular pieces of legislation that are either specifically in favor of the thing that they are lobbying for, or might negatively impact the thing that they are lobbying for. And unfortunately, in the US, it is legal for those lobbyists to make huge campaign donations to and political interest groups to make huge campaign donations to individual members of Congress and presidential candidates. And while that is still the case, while they are legally able to continue to do that, by the way, actually, I'm gonna ask something else in a minute. Then you are never gonna have a system that is governed by the people. It is governed by lobbyists right now and has been for
I understand.
a good
Yeah, the
period of
voter
time.
has as close to 0% influence as possible, essentially. And one thing
Well,
I'd like
they,
to add is that lobbyists don't necessarily need to be paid. I mean, there are other motivating factors besides just money. However,
I
that is
completely agree
definitely
with
the
you.
number one thing.
Mhm.
I completely agree with you. Not every lobbyist is employed in the traditional sense by the interests that they are campaigning for or that they are lobbying for. Some of them, it's a personal interest of theirs or is in some other way in their interest to lobby on behalf of it. Um, I've what do you think of um, Donald Trump and Melania Trump's meme coins?
I know that he scammed his supporters out of, I don't know if it's hundreds or tens of millions of dollars, but I think he made over $1 billion just from crypto scams since he took office.
Are you aware that that is another route by which people can, with special interests, can make untrackable, untraceable donations to him?
I was not aware of that. So I'm assuming they partake in the pump and dump scheme and it benefits both parties.
No, not quite like that. What they do is it's a way of them giving him a backhander. When that first went on, became available, those meme coins, they were then able to purchase some of those meme coins, and therefore the money that they're giving to Donald Trump, it's you can't trace that that's where that money came from. So I'm fully convinced that the purpose of those meme coins was nothing to do with getting the average Trump supporter to buy them. That was a secondary benefit. The main benefit of them was untraceable payments to the Trump administration.
Well, I guess I sort of agree with you, but if you look at the fact of the matter, Trump made more money last year than he had in his entire life. So obviously it's not just for political gain, it's to enrich himself as well.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you there. This whole thing, that this entire him running again this time has two real purposes. Number one was to enrich himself, and number two was to keep himself out of jail.
Yeah, I agree. The only way that he stayed out of jail was by getting power.
Yep.
I mean, obviously the weaponized DOJ was coming after him, and the only way that he was going to get out of that was by becoming president.
Probably. I mean, by the way, it wasn't the weaponized DOJ. It was just the DOJ investigating crimes. It probably, if you don't want to be investigated by the DOJ for crimes, maybe don't do crimes. That would be the thing.
That's fair. Although I will give Trump credit that he did set a good precedent by not prosecuting Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Oh no, he tried, and so did the Republican Congress. They couldn't because she didn't actually do anything wrong. So don't give Trump credit for anything because he wanted to, but they couldn't because she didn't actually commit a crime that was prosecutable. See, again, if you don't want to what's that?
She didn't receive millions of dollars from the mayor of Moscow.
What?
she received millions of dollars from the mayor of Moscow?
No, not in not in any sort of prosecutable fashion. But if she did that and they could prosecute her for it, they would. What part of that do you not understand?
I understand. I guess my interpretation of the situation was wrong. So appreciate you educating me.
Sorry, man. Like, dude, if they could have okay, for example, right now, what's going on with Dr. F, right?
Okay.
What do they desperately want to do with him? What does Rand Paul say? They've said he's a criminal. He should go to jail, right? It said this and that.
You know, I will just say I don't really follow the politics of Congress because I believe it's like a uniparty, but I would say that they're trying to establish that he tried to enrich himself through misleading the public and the government.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, it's not a uniparty, and if you think that you're deluding yourself because
isn't 94% of Congress receiving contributions from AIPAC?
Just because a bunch of people receive contributions from AIPAC doesn't mean they all vote the same way. Doesn't mean that they're all the same. Doesn't mean that they all are a uniparty. Doesn't mean they all believe the same things. So that's an absurd. If there's one issue number one, they don't all agree on it. So that's number one. Number two is if they're all in agreement on one issue, that still doesn't make them a uniparty, right? That doesn't make them.
The one
How about
issue
this?
that
How about this? Do you think
think
that everybody in Congress agrees that we need a strong military so that the United States doesn't get invaded?
Yes.
Cool. Does that make them a uniparty because it just so happens that Republicans and Democrats agree that, yes, we should have a military that's strong enough to defend the United States of America?
Actually, I kind of want to go back. I don't believe that they all agree with that. I believe that there are certain members of Congress that are anti-Western.
Okay, well, we can go back to that if you'd like to have that. If you'd like to have that discussion, that's a little silly, but okay, sure. We can have that discussion, but my point is that members of Congress agreeing on one issue generally doesn't make them a uniparty. A uniparty would mean that they would have to agree generally on a multitude of issues and only disagree on a few issues. It's the other way around. They only agree on a couple of issues generally and disagree broadly on most other issues. So that would defy the logic of calling them a uniparty. But my point here is that what?
I was just going to say that, with a few exceptions, if you're more sympathetic to Israel than you are Palestine, then you generally lose your seat, especially if you're a Republican.
If you're more... No, if you're a Republican, if you're more sympathetic to Israel, you're going to keep your seat because Republicans are all about Israel. What are you talking about?
Maybe I said it wrong. I said it wrong. If you're more sympathetic to Palestine than Israel, then you generally lose your seat.
And if you're a Democrat, what is it? It's the other way around, isn't it?
No,
yes,
it's not.
Yes, it is. In fact, we're literally wrong. We're literally seeing it right now. And in fact, 100 members. Bud, I don't think that you're paying attention to politics right now. 100 members.
No, I am. Let me tell you what I think. I think that the Democrats.
No, I don't. Bud, I'm stopping you right now. I am telling you, I don't care what you think. I will tell you what is actually happening. 100 members in Congress who are Democrats in the House voted against continuing funding for Israel. 100 of them. That's not a small number. We've also seen huge Democratic primary wins for candidates who are saying we should stop funding Israel. For example, the Michigan Senate primary. Did you pay any attention to that?
I'm from Michigan originally, yeah.
Cool. How much money did AIPAC pour into Abdel al-Said's opponent? Do you know how much they gave her?
It was either 20 or 40 million.
$46 million they gave her, and she still lost. She was the Israel-backed opponent, the AIPAC-backed opponent. And in a primary, $46 million, and she still lost. You're not paying attention. Democrats are tired of Israel, and they're tired of us giving all their money to Israel. If you think that is like that Democrats are also fully in support of Israel, that you're wrong. This is why I'm trying to explain to you. This is not a uniparty.
Well, let me say two things. First of all, I think that the reason that people on the right and the left are opposed to Israel are different reasons. People on the left are opposed to Israel because they see it as a colonial state that suppresses people that are less fortunate, just in layman terms. And the other thing I'd like to add is that I think a lot of Democrats do support Israel. They just don't support the way that it's conducting their war.
They don't support the genocide that's being committed there.
Right.
They don't support genocide. People on the right unilaterally, almost to a T, are supporting Israel.
That is, I mean, maybe the older Republicans, but the young people, no.
Almost entirely. I would love for you to show me, other than Thomas Massie, who's no longer got a seat now in the Republican Party, show me Republican politicians at the national level who have disavowed support for Israel.
James Fishback?
No, James Fishback has no national seat in the party. He is a nobody. He lost the fucking governor primary. He was third place in Florida. He has nothing to do with national politics. The fuck are you talking about? I said national politics. I want a Republican in national politics who has disavowed support for Israel, because I can name you a bunch of Democrats at the national level, starting with like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. And
well, I would say Bernie Sanders has been consistent on the issue for a long time, but
plenty of Democrats have. And I just told you that 100 Democrats in the House voted against continuing support militarily for Israel. So, like, your assertion is just no. I'm sorry, dude, wrong. Republicans, you can say, well, some younger Republicans are maybe turning blah blah. No, you can think that, but Republicans,
I'm not defending the Republican Party.
Okay, all right, but that's not the point. Here is that Republicans, on the whole, I'm sure that there are some exceptions. Republicans, on the whole, are fully in support of Israel. Democrats, mostly, while they might say that, like, oh, it's okay for Israel to exist, they're not in support of what they're doing or how they do it. And there is also a good, strong faction of Democrats that think that it shouldn't exist at all. Those are wildly different takes.
I agree with you, and I think that the representation is not reflective of the actual voters.
Well, then I guess the Republican Party has a bunch of people that are voting against their own interests.
Well, I want to point out just a couple of things. Number one, James Fishback got 10.5% of the Republican primary vote, like a relatively tiny percentage. Also, you were talking earlier about Hillary Clinton and the mayor of Moscow. I went and looked up that story. You're conflating multiple different things. It was actually something leveled at Hunter Biden, and it wasn't the mayor of Moscow, it was the mayor of Moscow's widow. And it was like an internet rumor. It wasn't an actual. This is what I've been dealing with this all day, Matt, like people thinking AI videos are real and seeing a meme and thinking that it's real. And so that story that you heard is not true. So
and I understand a lot of the things about Hunter Biden are false, like the fact that he dropped a laptop off in Delaware is false. I know that I understand that he was likely hacked.
But the thing is, you have this whole thing at your fingertips called the internet, and what I do, and I know what Matt does, is when we hear something, we go, that sounds terrible. I'm gonna go look it up and see if I want the details of it. Because if that happened, that's awful, and I want to call that out. Well, that thing with Hillary Clinton, that didn't happen.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
are
was
you
mixing things up.
are you a groiper?
Yeah.
I thought you might be.
So where were we?
I what what on earth attracted you to that as like a an ideology?
Um, I would say the Christian theology, I believe.
Okay, so you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Jesus would be a groiper?
Um, I don't think I could answer that. I don't
I
think
think you
Jesus was
probably
a political
could.
person.
I think you probably could if you thought about it. Like, do you think Jesus would agree that that people of different religions and races and sexes should be treated differently to one another?
I don't think that they should be treated differently, but I think that they're distinct, and I think that America and Europe is should be a Christian society,
Why?
because that's our heritage, and I believe it's correct.
I actually think we should go back further than that. I think in Europe we should all be pagans. I think I'm all for druids because if we're going to be traditionalists, if we're really going to be traditionalists, why are we only going back 2,000 years? Why aren't we going back 3,000 or 4,000 years? I think
Because
we should
according to
all
my
build.
religion, that was
I
the fallen
think
world, and Jesus came to bring a new
I'm
covenant.
sorry. Your religion does not take precedence over anyone else. The only place that your religion should take precedence over anybody else's beliefs is in your own worship. That's the
Well,
only
that's not how the
time.
United States was
There we
founded.
go. No, you're right. The United States was founded on post-Enlightenment values. You're right. It was nothing to do with Christianity.
Also, there were a number.
Are you?
You may not understand this. I know that this is going to blow your mind. But the founding fathers actually took a number of ideals from the indigenous tribes that they interacted with. You probably didn't know that. So, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
I
are
appreciate that.
you are you familiar with the Treaty of Tripoli?
No.
Okay, you should maybe go read it because it was to do with like the Barbary Coast and them not wanting to trade with Christians and not letting Christians travel through their lands in order and their across their seas in order to get things. And the US government in the Treaty of Tripoli and this was what year was it, Matt? Do you know? It was like
Yeah,
really close to the founding of the United
it
States,
was
wasn't it?
1797. I want to say 1797, but now I'm going to look it up because it's going to bother me that I
That's
probably
fine.
didn't get the
And
right.
and in the Treaty of Tripoli,
Oh,
the
1796. God damn it.
1796. The US government expressly said, well, actually, we're not a Christian nation and we're not founded on Christian values. So there is no reason for you to stop us from crossing your waters because we are not a Christian nation. So the founding fathers
Hmm.
disagree with you about the US being a Christian nation.
Well, that's fine. I understand there was separation of, excuse me, there was separation of church and state at the federal level, but I think every single one of the colonies required a declaration of Christian faith in order to serve in government.
Number one, they didn't all require that. Number two,
All of them
num,
except one,
num,
maybe.
and number two, the which came first, the U.S. Constitution or the colonies' decrees?
The colonies.
Right. So what superseded that?
Well,
What
they're independent of each
superseded?
other.
They're not though, because they were bound together by what?
the Constitution, which
there
formed
you-
a federal government
there
representing
you
all
go.
the colonies.
And the federal government. Hold on, time out. The federal government and the U.S. Constitution. Does federal law supersede state law? Does the Constitution supersede state law? Yes or no?
Yes.
Cool. So what's more important, the Constitution or colonial charters?
Well, let me ask you.
No.
the
I'm sorry. Don't answer a question with a question. It's a simple answer. What's more important,
Okay.
the Constitution or colonial charters? In terms
The
of law.
Constitution.
There you go. So the colonial charters don't actually matter.
Oh, but they do, because they have their own independent government.
But they don't, because we just established that the Constitution wins.
Actually, the way I understand it is that the Constitution gives certain rights to the federal government, and every other right is then given to the states.
Right. But is freedom of religion enumerated in the Constitution?
Yes.
Cool. So is that a right that is specifically spelled out in the Constitution?
Yes.
So is it a right that's not enumerated?
Does it say in the government?
Is it a
does say
right
in the
that is
Constitution?
it is a right that is not enumerated? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, it is. It is enumerated. Yeah. So it's maybe the framing of that
Okay.
question was poor.
Freedom of
But
religion is-
the basic. Okay, I'll just state it. The First Amendment is very clear. It is part of the Constitution. The only thing when we talk about quote unquote like states' rights, when we talk about things that are not enumerated in the Constitution and those rights are given to states, it would have to be a thing that wasn't clearly stated. Freedom of religion is the first line of the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law. Right? That's even before freedom of speech, freedom of press, before the Second Amendment. It's before anything else in the Bill of Rights. The first line is you get freedom of religion. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, none of that other stuff matters, because if you think that a state can make a law that supersedes the Bill of Rights, I have some information for you that's going to shock you. For example, I live in the state of Massachusetts. Do you think that here, in my very liberal state, do you think that we could make a law banning guns?
No.
Cool. That's because the Second Amendment exists. And you know what? As much as I am not a fan of firearms, I agree. We can't do that. That would be against the law, against the Constitution of the United States, because the Second Amendment is enumerated in the Constitution just like the First Amendment is, which means we could not make any sort of law requiring a religious test for our leaders, because that would be against the First Amendment.
The Bill of Rights.
The First Amendment. The Bill of Rights, the First Amendment. So there you go. So now we've clearly answered that question through constitutional law without any sort of ambiguity.
Okay. I don't really know how we got to this argument, but the point I was trying to make is that I don't think that the government should be basically ran in support of any other religion, and I think that's spelled out clearly in the early founding of the states. And I would like to add, I think it's interesting. I mean, obviously the Constitution says that you have freedom of religion, but it doesn't say that the states can't have their own religious requirements in order to serve in government.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What?
You literally didn't understand anything that I just said, did you?
No, I understand.
No, you don't, because what
I guess what I just said is incorrect.
Yes. Because if a state were to have some sort of religious requirement, that would be against the
First Amendment.
First Amendment. There you go. That's right. Also, when you talk about like the leaders, these colonies and different things like that, a bunch of people wrote different things into their colonial charters, including God and different things like that. Can you tell me, where is God mentioned in the Constitution, and how many times is God mentioned in the Constitution?
It's never mentioned, I
Oh,
believe.
it's never mentioned. Okay, cool. And were the founding fathers mostly Christian?
Yeah.
Wrong. They were mostly deists. Do you know what deists are?
Yeah, they believe in like godlike human figures.
A creator. They believe in basically like in a creator type, but not necessarily the Christian God. Now, do you think that Thomas Jefferson might have something to say about, oh, I don't know, the founding of our country, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and different things like that? Like, do you think that he would be considered a veritable expert on those writings? Just out of curiosity, Thomas Jefferson. Could we trust him?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Thomas Jefferson kept a Bible at Monticello. So you'd say, well, Matt, Thomas Jefferson kept a Bible at Monticello. So that really bolsters your argument now, doesn't it? Although I should point out to you that in the Bible that Thomas Jefferson kept at Monticello, he took out everything that he didn't like, including the virgin birth and the resurrection, because he did not believe that Jesus was the Messiah in the way that Christians do. So he wrote his own version of the Bible, excluding those parts. You can even see it. It's called the Jefferson Bible. It's at Monticello. It literally removes the parts of the Bible that he doesn't like. He wasn't a Christian, and that man helped shape everything that we're talking about today.
Didn't he also?
I understand that the Constitution established the separation of church and state, but the colonies did not. And that's really what founded our country. I'm saying that
the colonies did not found our country. The Constitution founded our country.
But the people made up the colonies, and the people that made up the colonies were Christian.
No. I don't think you understand. The colonies were part of my country.
Bingo.
They were nothing to do with your... They later became the beginning of your country, but they were part of my country, not part of your country. Your country didn't exist until 1766. They were English colonies. And in England... even now, we have a state religion, which is Christianity. Okay, we have bishops that sit in the House of Lords. The colonies were part of my country, not yours.
Right, and weren't the colonies a big reason they were established is for more freedom of religion?
No, this is a common misunderstanding. The people that left, so the king and the English church was becoming far more liberal in its views. And the people that left, have you heard the word Puritan ever?
Yeah.
Okay, what would Puritan refer to, do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think the root word of the word Puritan might be?
I would say a more orthodox practicing of religion.
Right, pure. A more pure, or as they saw it, a more pure Christianity, practice of Christianity. They left because they were more conservative than the church was here. They left because they wanted to practice a far more conservative, orthodox version of Christianity than the version of Christianity that was being practiced in England at the time. Which is mad, because if they just stayed until after the English Civil War, they would have got to the point where you weren't even allowed to drink on Christmas. If they'd literally just waited a few more years, they would have got exactly what they wanted, which is wild. But those Puritans, they wanted, it wasn't that, that the church was really conservative and it was persecuting them because they were trying to be all progressive. It was the opposite way round. The church, so they weren't pursuing freedom of religion. They were pursuing freedom to practice their version of Christianity, and to be as conservative as they wanted to be. That's what it wasn't. They didn't go to the United States and take, some Sikhs with them and some, well, Sikhism had barely
I was
been
gonna say,
founded at
yeah.
that point. But they didn't take some Sikhs and some, some Muslims and some Hindus and go, right, everyone can practice their own religion. They only wanted people there that were like them.
Doesn't that bolster my case?
No,
They wanted to go to the colonies in order to live in a more religious society.
and at that time the colonies were English.
They were English subjects, but they weren't your typical English citizens, were they?
What's a typical English citizen?
I think that they didn't have all the rights that English citizens had.
What rights didn't they have?
They didn't have representation.
Nobody had representation. I don't know if you know this, but until the Glorious Revolution which happened in the 1700s, you only had representation if you were a wealthy landowner and if you were a man. Those are the only people that had representation. And even then, do you know what year every man got the vote in the UK? Every man over the age of 18. Do you know what year that occurred?
No.
1918, the same year as the first women got the vote. So when you say they didn't have representation, that would be them being treated like every other English citizen of the time.
Except wealthy landowners, correct?
Yeah.
And did wealthy landowners in the colonies have representation?
Yes.
Really? They voted?
Yes.
Oh.
If I want to tell you this, if because most of the time the wealthy landowners, first of all, when people first went to the went to what is now the United States, there were really no particularly wealthy landowners. It took a period of time in order for that to be established. But then once there were wealthy landowners, most of those people, or many of those people at least, they did not live in the US. They owned land, or what is now the US. They owned land in the US. They reaped the benefits of that land, but they did not live there. There were very few that actually lived in the US. The same with the Caribbean. Very few of the people that owned that land lived on that land. And again, this thing, 1766, no taxation without representation. Nobody, no normal person had representation in the UK at that point. Nobody.
Okay. I appreciate the history lesson.
This is all, and by the way, I absolutely understand people wanting to be able to vote about what happens with their land and or with them, and having a say. Democracy is a great thing, right? In fact,
Is it though?
yeah, no, don't do
Isn't it the
that.
most corruptible form of government?
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Do you understand what you just did?
Change the subject.
You were literally talking about people having representation in the US, and then when I say democracy is a great thing, you say, is it though? So what you want the situation that those Puritans escaped from? That's what you're looking for.
I think they're two different arguments, honestly.
Why
I
do
think
you
that
think
if
they're
you,
why?
because I believe in a state religion, but I
No,
don't
no,
think
no, this
that
is why don't you think democracy is good?
because it's very corruptible.
So do you think that some form of autocracy is not also corruptible?
It is.
So can you name me a system of government that is not that is incorruptible?
No,
Okay, and in an autocracy, you only have to corrupt one person, right?
that's right.
So eminently more corruptible than a democracy, correct? Because in a democracy, you have to corrupt hundreds, if not thousands, of people.
Well, I think that in an autocracy, it's predetermined who has power, and in a democracy, the most corrupt people generally gain the most power.
What?
What?
I said in an autocracy, it is predetermined who has power, and in
Yeah, I heard that
democracy, the
part. It
most
was the
corrupt
second part.
individuals gain the most power.
Okay, prove it.
And then, I guess I would tell you to look at the donor list to the top politicians and say that they're the most corrupt entities in our country.
So Donald Trump is the most corrupt entity in your country, right?
Right now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you vote for him?
I did in 2016.
No, you didn't. You said you were 23. In 2016, you were 13 years old.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I voted for him in 2020, but not 2016 or 24.
You. What month is your birthday?
It's September. So I wasn't able to vote in 16. I voted for him in 2020, and I didn't vote in 2024. I had just turned 18 when I voted for him in 2020.
Mm-hmm. You think that this is the way to go, huh? Calling yourself
What's that?
calling yourself a groiper, doing this thing.
I don't understand which way you think I'm going.
Whatever this thing is that you're doing, the groiper thing.
Believing in a Christian government for America.
That we've
I don't know what you mean.
that we've already established doesn't really exist.
If you're going to say that America and Europe aren't Christian societies, then I would just disagree with you.
Who?
America wasn't founded on Christian ideology. And
The federal government, yes, they established a separation of church and state. That doesn't mean that the population wasn't overwhelmingly Christian, and that
just because a population has a majority of a religion doesn't mean shit. And that doesn't mean that you get to decide that the government gets to be that religion. So get the fuck out of here with your stupid Christian nationalist beliefs. No one gives a fuck. You don't get to decide.
I didn't call to ask about Christian beliefs, but
yeah, but you said that you're a groiper, and obviously you're a Christian nationalist and a white nationalist.
Well, what branch of Christianity are you from? What branch of the church did you? What branch of the tree did you fall off of?
I believe in Orthodox Christianity.
As in what? Like Eastern Orthodox, Coptic? What's
Eastern
Orthodox
Orthodox.
Christianity? Eastern Orthodox Christianity.
Really? What's your view on icons?
I don't believe that we can pray through icons. I believe you're supposed to pray directly to God.
And
Then
you're
you're not an
Eastern
Eastern
Orthodox. There you
Orthodox.
go. Hey, bud, listen, I got to be honest with you. You really suck at this.
I
Well,
literally, Matt, I have an Eastern Orthodox icon of Saint George literally on my mantelpiece.
I'm gonna be honest. I like that. God damn, dude. Like, there's literally one thing that you would have to answer in the affirmative to. Basically, like that would. Oh my God, man.
I don't think you I don't think
I don't
I
believe in the
think
veneration of saints. I thought that's what you're asking.
What now?
I said I don't believe in the veneration of saints, which is what I thought you were asking.
You don't believe in the veneration of saints?
Right.
You do realize that in Eastern Orthodoxy they also still believe in saints, right? You're thinking of Protestants. Protestants don't believe in the veneration of saints. Dude,
I
you don't
I
even
believe in saints,
know,
but I don't
dude,
believe.
you're simping for Christianity and you don't even know fuck all about Christianity.
well does everyone want another really quick history lesson? Okay. So
Well, I
so
don't. I honestly,
no
I don't.
shushies.
I haven't been studying religion
Hi,
lately. I've
hi,
been studying the
hi,
conflict in the Middle East, which
hi.
is what I wanted to talk
Okay.
about.
No, it isn't, because you would have brought it up earlier if it was what you wanted to talk about. You want to talk about it
Well,
now
you were
because
asking me
you've.
questions.
Hi, sorry, you've made an idiot of yourself. So that's why you want to talk about it now. Okay. So what at the beginning of the church there was one apostolic church. Okay. There was then about 1,000 years into Christianity. There was the first schism.
Schism.
Okay. I love the word schism. When I'm teaching this, I tell children to think about scissors and chasm, and they'll get the word schism. Okay, and a schism is a split in something. So that one holy apostolic church then split into two. Okay, then you got the Catholic Church, which is to this day the world's biggest denomination of Christianity. And then you got the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Eastern Orthodox Church has tons of little branches like Russian Orthodox, Coptic, Armenian Orthodox, etc. Okay, then in like the 15 and 1600s, you got the second schism, where once again a bunch of Christians decided they didn't want to be in the Catholic Church, and they created the Protestant Church. Literally, the word protest, to protest the Catholic Church.
Heretics, I tell you.
Heretic. And that is where we get things like Anglican, or I think you call them Episcopalian, Presbyterian,
Yeah.
Baptist, Methodist. All of those churches
At all.
come from all of those churches come from this second schism. Okay, and I think you're a Protestant, but you're not really, because you don't really know a lot about religion. So you think you're a Protestant, but when I asked you about it, you couldn't, you said you were Orthodox, and in your mind, Orthodox just means like conservative. But actually, when we're talking about Christianity, the word Orthodox has a meaning, okay? And Orthodox refers to the Eastern Orthodox Church. It doesn't just refer to conservative Christians.
Okay. Let me just back up because, yeah, I understand that I've made a lot of mistakes and I definitely need to brush up on my theology. But the way that this conversation started is that I was calling in because I was interested in the different reasons as to why people on the right and the left are opposed to what's going on in the Middle East. And when you asked me why, I said because, I said something about there's certain members of Congress that are against Western Christian civilization, and that's how we went down this whole rabbit hole. So I think it's unfair to say that I didn't call about political issues and that I was actually trying to talk about religion.
I think every member of Congress should be against Christian civilization.
Okay.
Because we should not be involving our religion in our politics. Well, not in the United States anyway. People shouldn't be involving their religion in their politics. That's why you have a
Well,
separation of church and state.
I would say that that's fine if you want that in your ideal world, but currently our government is being run by a bunch of religious zealots that don't follow Christianity, they follow Zionism.
No, it's being your government is being run by a bunch of religious zealots. In fact, you can tell me you wanted to talk about the wars in the Middle East. What did Pete Hegseth say to the people below him in the military regarding the war that they were fighting in Iran?
Are you talking about the comments he made just a couple days ago?
No. I'm talking about right at the very
tell me.
beginning. And the speeches that they had multiple complaints about the speeches that the military hierarchy were giving to the troops because they were making it sound.
I'm sure he was spewing some dispensationalist nonsense about how we're going to bring in the Messiah by killing all these people in the Middle East, something like that.
He was making it sound like the Second Crusades is what he was doing.
Yeah, that's not Zionism. That's just rabid Christianity.
Well, no, dispensationalists are Zionists.
No. By the way, Zionism isn't a religion. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I understand.
It's just a belief.
I know.
So who are the people?
But it's a political.
Hold on, bud. Hey, bud. Hang on.
Yeah,
hey, bud. Hang on. I have a question for you.
All right.
Who are the people in our government who are pushing the rabid Zionism? What religion are they?
They're Christian.
Cool. Just checking. So our government is being run by a bunch of insane right-wing Christians who are pushing Zionism. I fixed it for you.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So why didn't you say it like that instead of, no, they're not crazy Christians, they're Zionists? No, they are. They're Christians who are pushing Zionism.
Yeah, because there's certain sects of Christianity that think that you have to support Israel, a modern day country called Israel. That
the majority of the right wing evangelicals in this country. Yeah, very good. When you say certain sects, so not the Catholics, right?
Yeah, not the Catholics, not the Orthodox.
Yeah, not the Catholics, not the Orthodox, but the right wing evangelicals, which make up a good chunk of Christians in this country, right?
I think it's like 30 million or something like that.
Well, let's see. Actually, what is the most recent percentage in the U.S.?
Just look up how many evangelical Christians are there in America.
43% are Protestant. 43% are Protestant.
Can you look up, do Protestants believe in dispensationalism?
35 to 40% of American Christians are evangelical. No, of American Christians are
40% of Christians are evangelical in America? I don't think that's correct.
That's the number I just got.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would say that these people in government don't follow the correct version of Christianity. I think it's pretty basic that God established a covenant for the entire world and that there's not a separate covenant for the Jewish people that gives them the authority to kill anyone in their way.
What?
I said that the people running the government believe in a false version of Christianity. There's one covenant.
Who gets to decide what the real version of Christianity is? Oh, in fact, I'm going to ask you another question. What was the Council of Nicaea?
It
Oh,
created the
Erica.
Nicene Creed.
It did create well, kinda. But what was it? What was its purpose?
I think
I'll
it
give
was
you a
to
clue.
try to I think it was to try to combine the two major churches.
No, this was at the very
Okay.
beginning. It was to decide which of the holy writings should go into the New Testament. Okay.
Okay.
So even if you believe the New Testament, I don't know, the King James Version probably, in its exact language, those people, and it was in the year 252 or something like that, like this was a long ass time ago, those people decided what was going to go into the Bible. You don't even have access to all the writings that people made about Jesus. You don't you most of them have been lost over time. So whatever you believe,
And when
if
were
you
they
put
lost?
over I don't know if you understand how long ago the year 252 is. That's like 1,800-ish years ago.
I do,
Was
but
it?
maybe I'm incorrect,
It
but I believe the Ethiopian Bible dates back to like 600 AD.
Yeah, so
And
actually, Eric, I did double check. I thought it was because it was in the 300s. It was in the early 300s. It was like
Oh, was
it
it?
was like 320. Now, though, not that it makes much of a difference because your point still stands 100%. What you're saying is still absolutely like thinking about this fact is we are talking about over 1700, well, almost exactly actually 1700 years ago. This is
so do you think that
1700
Jesus was
years
a real
ago.
person?
Jesus, we know that there was a person named Jesus of Nazareth, like that was a person that historically existed. Do we know that he walked on water or changed water into wine or multiplied a couple of fish and loaves of bread into to feed 5,000 people? No, but we know that
There's
he existed.
there was a great article in the Guardian which I again used to teach, but I simplify it because it's got some really big words in, and 13-year-olds can't read it very well. The Guardian is not like 13-year-old easy read. But there's by Dr. Simon Gathercole, who is either from Oxford or Cambridge University, and he's a theologian. And he sets out all of the main arguments um, for the existence of Jesus. And most theologians and historians have, even those who are atheists, have come to the conclusion that a guy called Jesus probably did exist. There are too many. If you were just a normal everyday person 2,000 years ago, nobody was writing anything about you. Yet Pontius Pilate, Joseph, Flavius, no, Flavius Josephus, can't remember. And there were a couple of other guys. Who's the Pliny the Younger? All wrote
Mm-hmm.
about Jesus within a couple of hundred years of some very close, like Josephus was within about 60 years of Jesus being around, and then Pliny is most famous actually for writing about Mount Vesuvius, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. So that was a couple of 100, 200 years after. But most historians and are convinced that Jesus was a person. What nobody can prove is that he was God incarnate, or that he did any of the miracles that the Bible claims that he did, which the whole purpose of the Gospel of John is to prove that Jesus is God incarnate. So with the seven I am statements, the seven signs, and the other seven, whatever it is, can't remember. But um I've got to get all this back into my brain, Matt, because I'm teaching it again next week. So
Mm-hmm.
um but but nobody can prove. You can believe that Jesus was God incarnate. You can't prove it though. There would be no
I
way
agree
for
with
you to
you.
prove that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, I would say that, good luck finding one historian that would say that Jesus wasn't a real person. Everyone believes in Julius Caesar. I think there's less than a dozen manuscripts writing about his life, and they were copied centuries later, whereas there's over 10,000 manuscripts documenting Jesus' life
Did-
in Greek.
Yeah, no one's debating the existence of Jesus. It's just the other stuff that no one could ever prove, right? That's what we're saying.
Okay.
And even when you talk about the Ethiopian Bible, that's like 300 years after the Council of Nicaea. So like the the whole purpose of the Council of Nicaea was to create a narrative about Jesus that was convincing to people and that people could buy into. So not every writing about Jesus was included in it. And it never it they're not gonna, you know, the oh, hang on, my brain's going a bit like too many things to say. But one of the things that is really convincing about the early writings about Jesus existing is that the ones that we can really trust are the ones from Romans and from Jewish people, because those are the people that wouldn't have wanted Jesus to exist. Those are the people that would be skeptical about his claim that he was God incarnate. So the fact that those writings exist are really but the existence of the Ethiopian Bible would still not contain everything that was taken to the Council of Nicaea, because that was 300 years before that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess my interpretation is that it has everything in there, but more. I think it includes the Book of Enoch and a couple others, but the purpose of me bringing that up is to say that the story has been consistent over time. I mean, you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Ethiopian Bible, I guess there's a little bit of a gap between those, but the story of the Hebrew Bible leading into the New Testament has been consistent. Anyways, the reason we brought this up,
what do you mean?
The
It's
reason
been
we brought this
consistent?
up is because I was talking about covenantal theory and the fact that Christians should believe that there's one covenant for all people, whereas the dispensationalists believe that there's two tracts that establish two covenants, one for the Jewish people and one for the Gentiles, which I believe is incorrect.
You keep saying dispensationalist, but you do realize that dispensationalism is only limited. Like the thing that you're talking about is only like really limited to like Pentecostals and Baptists and different things like that. And yet it is the whole idea of just pure Zionism is a mainstream Christian theory. It's not limited to dispensationalism. I don't know why you think
No, it's not.
that it's not. What?
Zionism is not a Christian concept.
I didn't say that it was a Christian concept. I said that it's part of mainstream Christianity at this point in the United States. I didn't say it was a concept.
It's an evangelical belief.
No,
sure.
It's not just this is what I'm trying to explain to you. It's just a widely held belief now amongst conservative Christians. Period. The end.
Well,
they don't understand. If you go, yeah, I know. I said conservative Christians, as in Protestants. Okay, I'm used. Even though I understand that all Catholics are Christians, most people don't. And so when I use the term Christians, I'm using it in the colloquial way that we do in the United States to say not Catholics. But if you want, I will be more specific. Protestants in the United States that are conservative generally agree with Zionism, and they have no idea what dispensationalism is. Mostly that's just for Pentecostals, some evangelicals, some Baptists, and different things like that. Like that's what you're talking. You're arguing that it's just those people, and it's not. Zionism is widespread throughout Protestant churches in the United States of America, and it has nothing to do with dispensationalism. Whether you like it or not, dude, that's just the way that it is. Period. The end.
Yeah,
Look at
I
polls.
agree
And
that.
like, okay, so now that we've established that, we all know that that's just the way that it is. So it's Christians across the board, Protestants in this country, who are aligning themselves with that for whatever reason. There's a number of different reasons why they align themselves with Israel, right? Because it's easy to say, like, oh, from a religious perspective, we want to protect Israel because it gives you another reason to go for it. It gives you another leg to stand on to say, yeah, we want to help these people commit genocide. Yeah, we want to go to war with Iran because God. We want to kill brown people because God. Whatever, whatever it may be. It's a good way to go about it, right? God. Because if you're a believer
That's
and
why
you're a
everybody
Christian,
supports Israel that does.
yeah, there you go. So great.
I mean, I
I'm
don't
glad
think
we all
people
agree.
support Israel just because they think it's a magical country outside of religion.
Well, some people do, but for the most part, I think that there's definitely a lot of like, ooh, God ordains it type stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, it's my opinion. That's just incorrect theology if you're a Christian.
I agree
Because
with
the
you,
Bible
but
is
you
very
should
clear.
probably let the majority of conservative Christians in this country know that because they disagree with you.
I'm outspoken about that whenever I have these types of conversations. I mean, I'm not as well versed on history as you, but like I said, I believe that the story is consistent, and if you truly read the Bible and make an attempt to understand it, you'll see that we shouldn't believe that Jews and Christians are have a different set of standards.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
In 1,000 years' time or 2,000 years' time, um, do you think like the story of Harry Potter will remain consistent?
Yes.
Okay. So what does a story remaining consistent over a period of 2,000 years have to do with its truth? Or what does that have to do with it?
Well, I would say that the historical accuracy of the Bible and believing in it are two different things.
Okay, there's historical accuracy of Harry Potter. Like they talk about a prime minister, they talk about the city of London. They have actual cars that really existed. They talk about a train station that really exists.
King's Cross.
Yeah, King's Cross.
Been there.
There's a ton of stuff in Harry Potter that is historically correct to the period in which it was written. So that would also be consistent in 2,000 years, right?
Sure.
People could read that and say, well, because I don't, even now, okay, we write, in fact, the story of Robin Hood is historically consistent with the time in which it was written, and yet we're pretty sure that Robin Hood didn't do the things that Robin Hood is said to have done. But obviously that's much closer to today than Jesus. But something remaining consistent is not an argument to its truthfulness.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't be called faith if you didn't have to believe in it without concrete evidence, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the difference between you and me, or you and me and Matt, is that um, I I don't my kind of my ethos, the way I live my life, is not based on um something that somebody else is telling me that my philosophy should be based on. My philosophy is based on my reason, my empathy, and the things that I can prove. And I really, I have all the respect in the world for people who are religious. I believe people absolutely have the right to be religious and believe in what they want. But what I don't believe, and I don't think anyone should believe this, that your religious belief should dictate how anybody else lives their life, number one. And number two, should certainly not dictate who should and shouldn't be the government of Western nations, particularly when I'm assuming that you would say that you love America, but you fundamentally disagree with the US Constitution.
Yeah, I mean, I do give authority to religion because I believe it's the basis of morality.
Except there are religions there are religions that existed thousands of years before Christianity, which espouse the exact same morals as Christianity does. I would say the good things from Christianity we can just say are humanist values, humanist beliefs. Okay, love thy neighbor as thyself, which, by the way, exists in all six major world religions. It also exists in humanism. It also exists in, is it the Satanic Temple?
Mm-hmm.
You think that Old Testament Judaism tells you to love your neighbor as you love thyself?
It does, multiple times.
Well, then why does it tell them to kill Amalek in order to establish a state for the Jewish people?
What verse is that?
Let me find it.
Anyway, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Matt and I have been live for like 2 hours and we've only got 58.8k taps.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I normally I say I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, but today I'm fucking mad. Get on it. What are you doing?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I read the verse? I hope your stream gets a lot of taps. So in 1 Samuel 15:3, now as a Christian, I believe that this took place during the fallen world where God commanded the Israelites to destroy their enemies in order to create a colony of his so that he could bring the word of God to the rest of the world. That's besides the point. That's not what modern day Jews believe. They believe that the Old Testament law is still in effect. So in 1 Samuel 15:3, it says, now go, attack the Amalekites, and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death the men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys.
Okay. What's your point?
My point is that Judaism does not teach you to love your neighbor as you love thyself. It teaches
because Judaism said to go, because they were like, hey, these other people are maybe hurting you or they're doing something bad. The Bible as a whole is full of that. Even in the New Testament, what does Jesus do with people that he doesn't like? That are doing things that he finds to be distasteful. What does Jesus do?
You tell me.
What does Jesus do with the moneylenders in the temple?
He flips the tables.
And drives them out? How do you think he drove them out of the temple? Do you think he asked them nicely? Guys, would you please leave? Do you think that's what happened? How do you think he drove them out of the temple? Genuinely. How do you think that happened?
I wouldn't assume that he would kill all the women and children.
I didn't say that he killed all the women and children, but he definitely got his guys to get like, what the fuck do you think they did? I'm just pointing out to you that, like, using that one example, like Judaism, and being like, oh, you think that, dude, we're talking about a bunch of different religions and a bunch of different moral codes that existed long before Christianity that fed into Christianity and gave it to them. The Egyptians believed in treating each other equally. I mean, actually, the Egyptians had
Did they
more
believe
respect.
in child sacrifice?
The Egyptians believed in child sacrifice?
Yeah, I'm asking you, did they?
Yeah, just like the Christians did for quite some time.
Give me an example of that.
I want
Wait, I want to know
well,
where the
no,
Christians
I just
endorse
want to point
child
out,
sacrifice.
like, Hinduism is between 6,000 and 8,000 years old, and in Hinduism, God, Brahman, but God isn't God. God is kind of genderless. God can appear as either male or female. So within Hinduism, women and men are treated equally, although culturally the caste system has been employed, which is not strictly within the religion, but is part of the culture. Um, but every single one of those religions talks about welcoming the stranger or loving others or treating other people as you wish to be treated. Every single one of them doesn't come from Christianity. It comes from all the things that came before it, which is why I believe that that's a humanist value, not a Christian value. By the way, as someone in the comments just said, what were the Crusades?
The Crusades were a response to centuries of Muslim aggression.
God, I love the revisionist history. That's amazing. That's amazing. Years of Muslim aggression, which required a bunch of people to go to the place that it was happening and slaughter all of those people. Huh? That's how that happened.
I mean,
was it?
Islam,
did they?
Islam
I'm
is
so
an
sorry.
expansionist religion.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. And where are they expanding to?
Europe.
Really? Could you explain where in Europe they were expanding to?
Spain, modern day Spain.
Really?
Yep.
Then why did the Crusades happen in North Africa and what's currently known as the Middle East?
Because it was a persistent theme that the expansionist religion of Islam was trying to take over Christian lands.
I'm sorry. So you agree then that it was they just kept going, right? So they it wasn't just an eye for an eye. It wasn't an equal. They just kept murdering people. Did Muslims kill like 2 million people? Is that what happened?
They subjected millions of people to
No.
Islamic
I asked
law,
you a question. I said, did they kill 2 million people? Yes or no?
Spiritually or physically?
Kid, if you're going to be disingenuous, you can't have a conversation with adults.
I'm not being disingenuous.
Yes, you are. Stop it. I'm gonna hang
up.
I'm gonna hang. If you're gonna say shit like this, I'm gonna hang up the fucking phone. Stop being disingenuous. You know exactly what I fucking asked. Now answer the fucking question.
Okay, calm down. I don't think they murdered 2 million
Don't
people.
Fucking tell me to fucking calm down when you say things like, well, was it spiritually or physically? Shut the fuck up. Now, we both know that they didn't do that, and now you're making excuses because you've been fucking cornered, and you know that Christians went and murdered a couple million people. That doesn't fucking square up with your pristine view of Christianity, and they're all good, and they just want peace and love and shit. Shut the fuck up. God damn, dude.
I never
You don't know. Shut the
them.
fuck. I said shut the fuck up. You don't know fuck all about religion. You don't know fuck all about history. You don't know fuck all about anything. All of your views are fucking wrong. You need to read a goddamn book. You need to stop watching videos on YouTube. Stop watching videos on fucking TikTok. Whatever the fuck it is that you are doing and the places that you're getting your information from, they are wrong. We are literally telling you shit that is easily Googleable, easily verifiable by multiple historical sources, and it's shit that you don't know. You are making yourself look like an ass in front of about 900 people right now because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Stop it. Genuinely, just fucking stop it. Learn something. Read a fucking book.
You asked me why the Crusades happened.
And you're wrong. And you lied about the
Okay.
fact. And not only are you wrong, you lied about the fact. They were like that. They're like, well, was it an equal response?
No.
Cool. So you would agree then that the Christians went on a murderous fucking rampage, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. So we agree then that Christians do fucking terrible shit in the name of Jesus and in the name of God, right?
Of course.
Cool. So what the fuck are we even talking about?
I don't know. Randomly, it was asked.
I don't know either, because
why the
now you're
Crusades
just
happened.
you're literally just trying to make excuses for shit that you don't even know why. You don't even know what you're trying to make excuses for anymore.
I have a question. I wasn't 100% listening. Did he say the Crusades started in Spain?
No, he was saying that was one of the reasons why that the Crusades happened, was the encroachment of the Islamic religion into Spain.
Well, that's weird, because the first crusade was in like Turkey,
That's
that kind of area.
That's what I was saying. I said, wow, if that was the case, then why were the Crusades focused in the Middle East and North Africa? That was what I said. Yeah.
It would make you wonder, like, because the knights that went on the Crusades, they went from, like, some of them were from England, they were from France, they were from like Italy, they were from. You'd think if they were that worried about Spain, they'd fucking start with it, because it's real close. Like, Spain is super close. Why bother going all the way to Turkey, which is the other side of what is now Europe? Most of it, not even in what is now Europe. Why would you bother going that far when you're most worried about the people on your own doorstep? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, he asked me why the Crusades happened. I said encroachment of Christian lands by the Muslim religion, and he said, "Give me an example of where that happened." And I said, "Spain." That doesn't mean didn't happen other places.
This is wild.
I know. I know.
Again, I'm gonna tell you about a really good video that you can watch, and this one is on YouTube. It's Business Insider has this great video. Again, I use this as a teaching material, which shows the spread of religions, and really, Christianity throughout Europe wasn't even deeply entrenched in Europe by the time that it was deeply entrenched in certain parts of Europe when the Crusades occurred, but not in Europe as a whole. There was still a ton of like pagans and, you know, people practicing like indigenous and localized religion. I really, Matt's right when he says read a book. Like, read a book. Stop listening to what other people tell you about this stuff, because you only know the bits of the Bible that are convenient for you to know, to make your arguments, which is wild.
Okay. Well, I would like to have a political debate instead of a theological or historical.
The problem is your politics.
The reason I called in is because
no.
like
My
politics.
love. The problem with this is you have made this clear multiple times. Your personal politics are intertwined with your personal religious beliefs. And therefore, and we can't separate the two, because your justification for the things that you want is religious. Your justification is that you want Western Christian values to be the predominant values. And when you say, I want Western Christian values to be the predominant values, what it leads us to do is to interrogate your Christian values, and you don't appear to have what are actually Christian values, because
That's fair,
You don't want to welcome the stranger. You don't want to love your neighbor as yourself.
I don't know if I would say that, but
You don't.
what I can
You
say is
you
that
you
I think it's
potentially
totally fair that the Arab countries remain Muslim and that the United
well,
States and Europe remain Christian.
as
That's a
I
crazy
said,
idea.
I'm a traditionalist. I think we go back to I think the United States should practice the indigenous religions of the people that were there before it became the United States, because that was what would be happening there 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, we should
So
have
that's
a matriarchal society, Erica,
uh-huh.
and we can worship spirits of nature. Actually,
Yeah,
I'm be honest with you, I'm actually really fucking down for that. That sounds
yeah.
really fucking cool. And
And
we
I
can
think
drink ayahuasca and we can have
yeah.
experiences. Honestly, it sounds really fucking cool.
You were born in the wrong time.
That's cool. No, or maybe you were. Anyway, I think the people of Europe should go back to their indigenous religions. Here, we're going to be Druids, okay? We're going to be pagan. We're going to. Do you want to put that picture up again, Matt? We're going to build giant calendars out of stone, which would be much easier now because we have vehicles that we could drag them across the country with. We wouldn't have to. I mean, how the fuck? That's stone, by the way, Matt.
I,
That's
I,
stone.
I've been wanting to go
This
there for a long time. Ever since I saw Spinal Tap, I've wanted to go.
the stone is from Wales, which is a real fucking long way from stone. I mean, not by American standards, but by British standards. It's a long way. Okay. We go back to that. We go back to building big clocks. I think it's perfectly acceptable for some people in and around what was the Holy Land to be Christians. But I really think we need to be more conservative. We need to go back to traditional values in the parts of the world that we come from. And traditionally here, people would not have been Christians. That was brought here by the invaders, by the Romans. I don't want
Well,
I don't want their religion.
I think it's very fair that I think that Western society should remain Christian and stick to our roots, considering that it's the civilization that brought about the Industrial Revolution and advanced society.
No, no, that was the Enlightenment. That was the Enlightenment. What is the Enlightenment?
I'd say it was like I don't know. You tell me. I have an idea, but I don't want to sound stupid.
It was really the Western advent of science. It was
Okay.
the Enlightenment was the beginnings of the rejection of Christianity, actually.
Yeah, like
So,
humanism.
so your idea, well, I would say that humanism has always existed, and that everybody is a humanist, or at least most people are humanists, even if you have a religion, you're still really a
Yeah.
humanist.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but
Erica.
go on.
No, you know
Yeah.
what? I just had a thought, and I apologize for interrupting you, but I just had an idea. I hate to agree with the caller, but you know what? He might be right. I think he's right about something. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm biased because I'm Lebanese. Maybe I'm biased, friend. But you know what? I think that maybe people in America or Europeans, maybe they should keep their things that they came up with, and maybe Middle Eastern people we should keep the things that we came up with.
Oh, that's interesting.
I I, I was
I'm
thinking,
Middle Eastern, by the way.
oh really? Where are you from?
My family's from Damascus. They came here in around 1900.
Oh, interesting. Must be hard to be self-hating. Yeah.
I'm not self-hating. I'm Christian, and I love Muslims, but I think that Christianity is the better religion. That's just my opinion.
It has nothing to do with religion. You do realize that the people that you align yourself with don't like you, and they think that you're a terrorist regardless of your religion, right?
Are you saying Muslims?
No, just because of where you're from. You realize that, right?
I would say that that's not a Christian teaching, but okay.
Yeah, I understand it's not a Christian teaching. I didn't. I know that it's not a Christian teaching, which is why it's
Yeah, it's a
wild
low
how
IQ,
it's.
bigoted teaching. I
Yeah, I
understand.
know, which is why most conservative Christians embrace it. They're low IQ bigots. Very good. I'm glad you've recognized that. Anyways, as I was saying, because that's when you align yourself with low IQ bigots, and that's the majority of the people that are standing alongside your views, that's what's going to happen. Anyways, as I was saying,
But you
I
just said that
think,
majority of people support
excuse me,
Israel, and I don't support
excuse
Israel.
me,
But go ahead.
but, well, do you supported Donald Trump, didn't you?
Well, yeah, when I was a minor, I didn't really know what I was doing.
Well,
Hang on, you said you voted for him in 2020.
yeah.
You can't have
I
been a
did.
minor and voted for him.
But context is important. I mean, that was in the middle of COVID, so there's a lot going on outside of religion, and I didn't really have my philosophy established.
Anyway, Matt, we're all keeping the things that we
Yeah.
came up with.
I-
What do you get to keep,
Okay.
Matt?
So, just off the top of
Shawarma.
my, what was that?
She said, "What do you get to keep?" I said, "Shawarma."
Sure. If you want to be reductionist and dumb, that would be one thing. But I was going to talk about, I don't know, the alphabet that was invented by the Phoenicians. That would be my people. How about Arabic numerals and algebra? How about chemistry and modern the modern basis for all chemistry comes from the Middle East? How about hospitals? The idea of having an area or a place that you would go to be treated for things. Those would be hospitals. Let's see. Oh, right. Coffee and brewing coffee and the idea of that comes from the Middle East. How about hygiene? Soap, bathing regularly, that came from trees in the Middle East. They started using that. That was when bathing became a thing. Let's see what else. Oh, that's right. How about glasses, optics, like having lenses that you could use to correct your vision. That comes from the Middle East. How about that? Windmills and wind power come from that area of the world, specifically Persia.
Oh, I have one.
I'm missing a lot too. I know I am.
Crop irrigation.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
of
that was
course,
the Egyptians.
absolutely. Crop irrigation. Duh, because you said Damascus steel. Damascus steel. We get to keep that one. Let's see. I'm missing a lot. Of course, we get to keep chess. Get to keep chess. I'm pretty sure because
Hang
I
on.
think chess is ours.
I think I've found an issue though, Matt.
What's that?
Well, all of the stuff that everybody else has invented or stumbled upon uses those things in its invention.
Oh.
So we wouldn't have like, I don't know, like computers because
Oh shit.
they use, and we wouldn't have like televisions or telephones or the
That's not really a fair argument,
automobile
though, because trading
or
those
the
technologies for other goods benefited those societies.
automobile, because all of those require the use of mathematics and algebra in order to invent them. So
Right,
we're
but
I
sharing
don't
those
know what
technologies
we
actually
hi,
benefited the society that
I'm
invented them.
sorry. I'm sorry, I'm still talking. So I feel very much like what the rest of us are left with is unseasoned food and bubonic plague. And I just
Yeah.
don't think that's fair.
Yeah. What? So yeah. Oh, okay, caller. I mean, I guess to your point, what did Europe introduce to the Middle East that was important to the Middle East?
I don't know. I can't give any examples.
Yeah, I know.
Can you Google some?
If you can't, I literally just came up with that shit off of the top of my head. That's not even an exhaustive, like that's not even, we're not even touching the fucking surface of the shit that has come out of the Middle East and the civilizations that have existed there that have blessed the fucking world, bro. And I'm not saying that
What
European
argument do you think I'm trying to
civilizations.
make?
You're trying to
I'm
say
not
that
saying that
you're trying to say
we
that
shouldn't share
cultures need to
technology.
stay separate.
Yeah, but is culture the same as technology?
Yep. If you want your
Really?
culture, yeah, because if you want your culture to stay separate, you don't get to have the things that we come up with. Keep your fucking culture separate. Do your own shit. You don't get to use all of the shit that my culture came up with. How is that right? You're like, oh, we want you to stay the fuck out of our country. Keep your dirty brown selves out the fuck here. We don't want you dirty Middle Easterners here. Oh, and by the way, we want all of those things that you invented that we use on a daily fucking basis, including our fucking alphabet. The literal thing that we read and write with, that, we want to keep all of it because it benefits us. So we don't want you, the people, because we don't like you, but we want to keep all of the benefits. See how fucked up that is?
I'm going to be honest, Matt. I was just looking up who invented the flushing toilet.
Who was that?
It was an English guy for Queen Elizabeth I in the 1500s. Although doubtless he used mathematics in some way to.
Hey, you know what? W's to that guy for inventing the flushing toilet.
No, it wasn't actually Thomas Crapper. Thomas Crapper is often kind of credited with it, but it was actually invented way before then.
I just don't think that sharing technology is a racist culture. Like, that would say that, the tampon, for example, came out of India, right? Like, that benefits all of society. It doesn't make other cultures more Indian.
No one's saying that it does, but you
did. You said if you share technology, it affects your culture.
No, that's not what I'm saying. See, you've completely goddamn, dude. You've completely misunderstood the point.
You said if we use all of your shit that you made, then you're stealing our culture. Something like that.
Okay, I'll try to explain this one more time. Okay. If you want to exclude a group of people, okay, you're saying we don't want people from a particular area to be in our country. That's what you're saying, correct?
No. That's not true.
That's literally what you've been saying. You're saying we need to keep these countries Christian and these countries Muslim. That's what you're saying. That's what you've been saying the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the crux of your argument. Keep these people over here and these people over here, right?
Sure.
Cool.
I don't think it's a people thing. I think it's a civilizational thing.
Cool. Okay, great. Even if it's a civilizational thing, then even more so, you shouldn't get to use the things that were developed by that civilization that you're trying to keep out. If you're trying to keep that civilization out of your country, you shouldn't be able to use the benefits. Because then what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, hey, we want to keep the people who invented all of those good things out of our country, but we want to take all of the good things that you invented. It's almost like, oh, geez, let's see here. It's almost like if there was a word for that. If there was a word
like
of
we're
group
stealing
of people,
all their technology. Like
it's almost like being imperialist or colonialist or going into different places and being like, we're just going to come in here and fuck you people, and we're just going to take all of the good things that you've done and take them for ourselves and use them, and ignore the people that actually fucking invented them. It's almost like the United States has done that a bunch of times, or the UK, no offense, Erika, but the UK has done that a bunch of times, and these other colonizing nations have all done that a bunch of fucking times. And so for you to say, hey, we should not have these people here in our country because we don't like their civilization, but also we want their civilization here. But we don't want them and their civilization here, but we want their civilization here. That's what you're saying.
No, I think you're framing it wrong.
I'm not framing it wrong. You're just not understanding.
No, I am understanding. And I'd say the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying is that you can engage in trade with other societies.
It's not trade with other societies. That's not trade. That's not trade. That's not trade. You're misunderstanding. Again, you're not understanding what I am saying. These are inventions.
Okay, using the knowledge of
these
other
are
cultures,
part
right.
of the civil. It's part of the civilization. These are things that were created out of the very civilization that you are trying to keep out. So if you want to keep the civilization out, keep the entire civilization out. This isn't like, oh, they grow great tomatoes on the Mediterranean, so we want to trade for their tomatoes. We also have tomatoes here, but their tomatoes are better, so we're going to trade tomatoes with them, and we grow soybeans, so we're going to trade our soybeans for their tomatoes. That is trade. That's not what we're talking about. I am talking about fundamentally invented items that come from a civilization that you're saying you don't want that civilization here, but they did come up with all of these things that we literally need to function with, so we're going to keep using those things. It's really fucked up. That's the point. That's the absolute insane take of all of this, is that you don't see that. You don't understand how fucked up it is to be like, yeah, we're just gonna keep using the alphabet and numbers and algebra, and we're gonna make coffee, and we're gonna do all of these different things that we were just talking about. We're gonna do all of it, and we're gonna ignore the fact that it came from a place that we're not letting people come here from. But we're going to take all of their ideas.
By the way, sorry, I was just vomiting again, so I'm having a fun day. The idea that that society is not affected by technology is wild. Like, at the beginning of the 1700s, 15% of British people lived in cities, and 85% of British people lived in the countryside. By 150 years later, that was exactly flipped. 85% of British people lived in cities and 15% lived in countryside. And that was specifically down to technology. It was specifically down to the advent of steam mills and factories that involved technology. Because they now needed the people in the cities in order to do that work rather than the people in the countryside. And that entirely affected culture and society. So the idea that you can separate the two, that you can separate technology from civilization, society, or culture is wild.
Yeah, and I just want to address somebody in the chat who said, look at the sand people using internet and phones right now. Number one, you've definitely been muted, you little racist piece of shit. And number two, you don't get the internet without Arabic numerals and without algebra, because you don't get programming or code without any of those forms of mathematics, you fucking moron. I cannot believe how fucking stupid you people are. I generally,
you don't have any stronger inheritance of that technology than anybody else,
excuse me, I'm not fucking talking to you. I don't know why you're fucking interrupting me, you fucking child. Shut the fuck up while I am talking. Be a good boy and don't talk about things that you don't understand. You've already
I don't know why you're
established.
so offended.
I'm not offended. I'm just angry at you for being so stupid. I'm angry at stupid people.
I know.
You know what?
I know.
You know how stupid you are?
No, I know that you're angry, but it's okay.
Why do
I
you
want you
think?
to finish your point.
Oh, you'll let me?
No, I want you to finish it. Go ahead.
I don't. I'll tell you what. If you can name me one thing that Europeans gave to the Middle East that didn't come from one of their inventions first, I'll let you have a couple of minutes uninterrupted to talk. Off the top of your head, go.
Oh man, that's tough.
Anything. Give me one.
The cell phone.
Wrong.
It was created in America by a European.
The cell phone would be reliant on what?
Everything that humankind
It would be relying on.
inherited
It would be relying on
up to that
mathematics.
point.
It would be relying on mathematics. Now, wouldn't it?
So you're going to say that it was a Middle Eastern invention, the cell phone?
I didn't say that it was a Middle Eastern invention. I said you would need to tell me something that didn't base itself on something that came out of the Middle East. It would require mathematics. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Where did mathematics come from?
The earliest signs of it, probably the Middle East, as you said earlier.
Not just the earliest signs of it, basic mathematics as we entirely know it. Algebra. Everything about modern math, it really came from the Middle East. You really should read a fucking book, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
Specifically,
Well, I understand that society.
Specifically, look at the influence of Baghdad as a city over mathematics and science.
Didn't not only algebra, but I'm pretty sure trigonometry came out of the Middle East. There were Persian mathematicians who did work on a bunch of different things. Like, Jesus Christ, you just I don't even know, dude. I just don't even know how to. You're a lost cause. You're too stupid to have this conversation.
No, well,
I'm done. I can't anymore.
You know when you're like, well, that's an hour and a half of my life I won't get back.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second. Hi, thanks for calling the stream. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yo?
Hello?
What?
Hi, are you a Trump supporter?
Not at all. I was on your show like a few weeks ago. We had a talk about 2A. It was a very cool chat. But today I wanted to talk about something else. I'm from France, by the way.
Oh yes, I remember. I remember you, friend. Can I place you on hold for a moment? Can I just place you on a brief hold, please?
Sorry?
Can I put you on hold for just a moment, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Just one moment. All right. Thank you, caller. Just a moment, because that was a long conversation. We've got a couple of things to read here. I appreciate you guys being patient through that conversation. Thank you to Rachel with the 10 on the blue app. Says, love you and your show, Matt. Keep up the amazing work. P.S. Coffee comes from Ethiopia, my people, and is a huge part of our culture, but we can share credit because Middle Eastern coffee is amazing. Had Lebanese coffee in Arachwa last year. Divine. I'm sorry. I should have clarified. I did not mean... not Rachel. I'm Rachel. I'm so sorry, friend. I said your name wrong. I apologize. I didn't mean that coffee itself comes from the Middle East. It's like the method of like brewing coffee, like the way that we brew coffee with like hot water and beans, and like that is a Middle Eastern thing. That methodology, that way of doing it. It's not that coffee comes from the Middle East. I should have clarified. Apologies. It's the method of making coffee. Sorry. You please, Ethiopia can absolutely take credit for coffee, friend. You guys, and I love Ethiopian coffee. Fuck yeah. You guys get all the credit in the world for coffee. 100%. I just meant like the brewing method of it. Like if you want to go with that, and also you can do with Arabic coffee you can do the specific grounds, and then in the thing also with the pour over method as well. So, anyways, that's what I was referring to. So, apologies if there's any confusion there. I do not mean to denigrate any other country where coffee actually comes from, such as Ethiopia. So, thank you. Sorry if that wasn't clear. All right, let's talk to our friend here. Hi, friend. Thank you for holding for a moment. Appreciate it. We are trying to talk, to Trump supporters, but you said you wanted to ask a question.
Yes, please, because I'm from Europe and we have different perspectives. And the last guy you were talking a lot about Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something very weird to me. Like, your president is swearing on the Bible. That seems very weird to me. Like, I could understand if he was swearing on the Constitution, but the Bible, I don't know. Don't you think it's weird?
I understand that it might seem weird. It's kind of a it's kind of a personal thing. You do not have to swear on a Bible, but it is it's a misconception that you must swear on a Bible when you are brought into public office in America. You don't have to, and you don't have to. You could swear on a copy of the Constitution. That would be fine. I think that it is an outdated and antiquated thing that people do, but they continue. It's a tradition that people just kind of continue. Does that make sense?
I can understand that, but don't you think that it has a wide meaning among all states about what moral and things like this should be? It's based on the Bible.
Mm.
Don't you think that it's something a bit weird that everything you do is based on the Bible?
Well, it's not that everything we do is based on the Bible. It's just that that is just an old tradition from 200 years ago that people would what people would do when they would be sworn into office. That's all that is. I do, however, agree with you that it is very weird and also very wrong the way that a number of our leaders on the right espouse Christian beliefs and then don't follow those Christian beliefs. They're hypocrites. That part I agree with.
Well,
do you think it should be changed?
I was just going to say, you're French, aren't you?
Yes, I am. This is Queen Erika, right?
Yeah, well, Erika, at least. You can I don't insist
Sorry,
on the. I don't insist on the
I'm
Queen
just
part.
reading at the screen. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't insist upon. If you want to call me Queen, you can. I don't insist upon it, though. I'm very, yeah.
Right.
But in France, you have state secularism, right? So, in a French court of law, for example, nobody. It's kind of forbidden in French law for people to swear on a religious text or anything like that. You just make a declaration that you're not going to lie, correct?
In fact, there is a very strong separation between church and state. Church is absolutely not allowed to do anything about what the state is doing. And if our president was swearing on the Bible, it would be a fucking scandal.
Yeah. So really, because the United States has the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law imposing a
Yeah.
state or whatever it is,
Establish.
establishing religion. There we go. It should be that you're right. It should be the same in the United States that people don't swear in on any
But how
religious
do you
book or.
feel about it personally? How do you feel about it? Do you think it is something normal? Do you think it should be changed? Do you think it? I don't know. It's very weird to us as European people to know that the first democracy, because it is the first democracy in the world that is based on the Bible.
Well, I think that again, I think that it's just a personal thing because you can swear on anything that you want. If I as a person who is not religious, for example, if I won political office and I was going to be sworn in, I would want to be sworn in on a copy of like the Constitution or something like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's personal. You could also bring a copy of the Quran. You could also have there's a number of things. So the reason that I don't personally take issue with it is because it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your duties or the necessary separation of church and state as it relates to their function politically, right? I think that's the important part. Do I think it's a little weird to swear on a book or a document personally? Yeah, I do. I think in general it's a little weird to me. Just in general. I also think that doing the Bible thing is very performative. And I think that it is just a way for them to look religious and Christian when again, I think it's just a traditional holdover. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 25 years it was a thing that started to slowly fade away and more people stopped doing it because it's not a requirement and less people are already doing it. Does that make sense?
Because you already said that it wasn't mandatory, right?
Yes.
So the New York mayor, Zoran Mandani.
Yes.
There were some fake news about him because of the racist people from Europe, and they say that he used to swear on the Quran. Is that true?
Yes, he was sworn in using the Quran. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as is completely his right as an American citizen practicing any religion that he wishes. Just like other mayors have been sworn in using the Bible. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but how do American people feel about it? Are they offended, or
Yeah.
are they okay with it?
Well, some American people, are offended by it because they're just silly, and they think that a book means something or matters, and a lot of us don't care, couldn't care less, because it doesn't matter to us. We care a lot more about the fact that he is somebody who is actually getting things done, somebody who is actually working hard in politics, somebody who is doing a good job. So
Getcha.
yeah.
Getcha.
Yeah.
But when you talk to Trump supporters,
Mm-hmm.
you often bring up Christianity.
Yes.
Is it something that you do it on purpose?
Yes, because oftentimes they purport to be Christian, and it's a big part of their identity, and I like to point out to them that if they believe that they are Christian and that they follow a Christian faith, that
Yeah.
the political beliefs that they hold don't follow their Christian values. They don't match up. They're not
right.
doing those things. So that's oftentimes why those things get brought up in the same way. Or it's brought up because people will try to argue with us that the United States is inherently a Christian nation and was founded on Christian beliefs when it really was not. It was founded by a group of deists, and they based a lot of their ideas on a bunch of different things that were not necessarily Christian, which is why our Constitution never mentions the word God.
But does that work? Or do you think that they are like following a cult?
Oh, what was that?
Do you think that what you are telling them about Christianity, do you think that it makes them think about it? Or do you think they are just following a cult?
Well, that's the $1 million question. I don't know if they I don't know if they if I don't know. Maybe some of them go back and they think about it, or maybe some of them don't listen to a word that we say and they just go, those leftists, they're crazy, and they go on with their day and they ignore everything we just said. But I'd like to think that some of them stop and reflect about the fact that Jesus told them to do a bunch of things that the Republican Party isn't doing. And so that's what I think, friend.
Do you think it did happen? Do you think that what you said to them made a difference?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's hard to tell. The only answer I can give you is that sometimes people come back to us and they tell us that what we've said changed their mind. So sometimes I think it does make a difference. Other times I can't be sure.
Can I ask you one more question, please?
Of course.
How do these people um, make a call to you because they know they are going to be roasted?
Well, I don't know if all of them.
Where did you get them?
They I don't know if they all know that they're going to be roasted, but you just you never
You
never know.
you fucking roast them, bro. It's
well,
it's so funny to watch.
What's by the way, real quick before I let you go, so I know for next time, if you don't mind, what is your what's your name, mon ami? Your name?
My name is Jeremy.
Jeremy. Excellent. Très bien, Jeremy. Très bien. Very good. That's wonderful. I'm glad that you called. I hope that I was able to answer some
Just
questions for you.
One last word before I leave. Your Twitch channel is amazing, and thanks for your Twitch channels. They are incredible, very friendly, and thank you for what you're doing. Thank you, Erika, and keep up the good work.
De rien.
Merci, Jeremy. Wait, what time is it there?
What time is it here?
8:58.
It's 9 p.m.
It's 9. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out then if it's 9 p.m. There's 6 hours from here. That would be, yeah. Okay, interesting. Anyways, bonsoir, bonsoir, my friend. And we'll talk with you later. Okay.
Au revoir, mon ami.
Au revoir.
See ya. See ya.
Salut.
Bye bye.
So, ciao. All right. I had to double check. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, yeah, it's evening. So, bonsoir.
Yeah, they're an hour ahead of us.
All right. Maybe we can get one more conversation here before we wrap up.
If I disappear, it's because I'm having a stomach incident. I'm really not good today, Matthew.
That's okay. Well, I had already told you we actually kind of need to wrap up fairly.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Genuinely, this is probably a good time to call it, honestly. So, it's not a bad idea. So
I'm trying to hydrate now. I think every ounce of liquid has left my body.
That is
one way or another.
Totally fair.
Oh no, I've got it's both ends, guys.
Tell us how it's really going.
It's nothing to do with lettuce. I have not eaten lettuce recently, so.
Also, she's in the UK, guys. So.
Matt will tell you, I have a day every couple of months where I have a bad stomach anyway. So I have a day every couple of months where I'm just like, bleh.
Real quick, I'd like to ask you guys to please drop your follows over on the tube. It would be greatly appreciated. So make sure you've subscribed both to me and to Erika. Erika's is right down there in the description of the tube. Any additional support that you guys have offered today, we greatly appreciate it. Of course, the gifts that you've offered to us and the support there is also greatly appreciated. Thank you to our mods who show up Friday during the day when I know you guys are busy doing other things, but you still manage to put some time in with us. It's greatly appreciated. Erika, I would very much like to go rate our friend Mia, if that is okay with you, because I see that she's live. Would that be all right with you?
Of course it is. Before we do though, can I just acknowledge the people who watch on Twitch, like Jeremy? We don't talk about the Twitch people very often. We quite often talk about the tube people, and obviously we often talk about the TikTok people. But if you are a Twitch person, thank you very much. I don't know, what do we call you? Twitchers? That's like
Twitchers. I know it's like it
a
almost
bird
sounds
watcher.
like I know it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we love you too.
Thank you, Twitch community, for sticking with Matt and I when I'm here. Oh, someone in the comments asked a great question earlier, Matt. They wanted to know why you were always on the big box on mine and Nemo's lives, which is a great question, which I would also like to know the answer to.
Well, Erika, if you don't want it to be like that, and you would like to be split screen like I do with Ari on her live, we can make that
I'm
happen.
fine with it. I just thought it was a funny comment.
Uh-huh.
Why is Matt always in the big box on Erika and Nemo's lives? It's a great question.
God damn it. Anyways, I just put Mia's @ down there. Tell her that Erika with a K, so that she knows which Erika with a K, came through. Someone also asked which Weezer album is the best. It's obviously Blue. Just top to bottom, start to finish, every song. It's fucking amazing. They have a lot of good albums, but that album, start to finish. Anyways, we love you guys. We appreciate you. There is a good chance that you're going to see me at another point this weekend. There's a good chance. We are rating Mia, our friend Mia. I put her @ down in the chat. I'm gonna pop it one more time. There you go. Tell her that Erika and I sent you, Erika with a K. We love you guys, for reals. And we will